Oh, Happy New Year and Happy New You. This has been the theme for January, Happy New You. Really, as I thought about it, it's the theme every month. Because what we talk about here is you and me, all of us, and how we can use our minds and use our awareness and to create a better life, a better experience for ourselves. And so for all month long, we've been studying the Science of Mind textbook. And today we're on the last section of the introduction. And so I wanted to say something, and I want you to respond with the end of the phrase, okay? Use it or
lose it.
Okay, good. I thought you were going to say that. Well, the theme for this talk is how to use it. And that's the last section of this introduction. The first one is the thing itself. And in that talk, I talked about the divine, God, the absolute, oneness, Brahma, Krishna, infinite reality. There's so many names for it. Throw out some ideas. What names for the divine do you have that I haven't said?
Great Spirit.
Great Spirit.
Divine
Divine intelligence, love, beauty, the great
Allah.
Mystery, Allah, Jesus.
Original self.
Original self. Anything else? Come on, be brave. Say something. Higher power. There we go.
Source creation.
Shiva, source creation.
Elohim.
Yahweh. Humanity has used lots of names, but really it's the unnameable one. It is ineffable. Because to put a label on the thing that we're talking about, the thing that Ernest Holmes, the writer, the author of this book, called the thing itself, to put a label, to give it a name, limits it in some way. Because doesn't God, or your idea of the creative force in the universe, isn't it beyond the words that you can come up with to describe it? Yeah, I think that's the truth. If you're in this room, I think that's probably the truth for you. That you've realized that this thing that people refer to as God is something much greater than any of us can really fathom. But this book attempts to help us understand not so much what it is, but more on how to use it. Because I believe that when we're incarnated into this physical reality, we are unable to quite get the big it. But we can learn how to use this one power, this one presence that we're all a part of. If you were here earlier for Greg's meditation, he did a wonderful job at taking us into that place of being connected to everything that is beyond our labels and our ideas of who we are, and connecting us to our very essence, to that thing that is going on right here and now. This thing called life, this one happening that we're all participating in. So the thing itself. And then I talked about the way it works. And we talked about the law. That there's a part or an aspect of the divine that is intelligent and constantly listening to us and responding to us. And that's how thoughts become things, because we participate in the activity of this one mind. There's the big mind, and then there's our individual use of that mind. And then last week I talked about what it does. What does it do? It works through us, but we have to be willing and available to it. Our idea of the divine matches our experience with it. So we can expand our idea of the divine and have a greater experience of it. We can tap into this power in a very intentional way. And so today, my talk is about how to use it. And when I said use it, you said lose it. Use it or lose it. And the thing about this power is you can't lose it. This power is unending, infinite, eternal. There is no beginning and no end. Its circumference is nowhere and its center is everywhere. And you are a center. You are a divine center for the activity of this one mind. Did you hear that? That's like some deep stuff. You are a center for the divine activity, for activity of this divine mind. And we all do it differently. We all see it differently. We all participate with it slightly differently. So it's hard to really talk about it as it relates to each of us individually, but hopefully we touch a little bit of it, how you relate to it and how you use it. So last week, Leslie and I came up with some beautiful affirmations, some singing affirmations, some chants, which we've collaborated again this week. So we have 3 more. Dr. Pam, I absolutely love, well, I'm not ready yet. Have a seat. Sit down. I loved your reading because it was, even though we didn't have a conversation about what to read that would align with my talk, you picked the absolute perfect reading. She talked about spiritual practice, spiritual studies, meditation, prayer. And here at the Satya Center, we offer 10 spiritual practices that this organization is built upon. And these 10 spiritual practices or pillars will support you as individuals in your life. So today we're going to cover 3 more. Last week we talked about meditation. That's how we tune into this one mind, this one God, this one love, this one infinite presence through meditation. We learn to still our busy surface mind and tune in to that greater mind that is all peace, that is all joy, that is all power, that is all love, that is all creative expression, that is all wisdom. That's ours too. We tap into that. And we do it most effectively when we quiet our surface mind and we tune in to this eternal moment, the now moment. And then last week we talked about visioning. It's something that we do here. We've taken time to sit together as a group and come up with some ideas of what we want this center to be. And we've created a vision together. It's a collaboration of what it is we want to experience here as a community and as a center. Not just here on Sundays, but our other classes and offerings that we do throughout the week. And our service projects that we get involved with, and our youth program, the I Empower program. So we have visioned for 8 years. We've visioned this community. And when you're clear on what you want, then the universe provides you with just what you need at just the perfect moment to bring that vision into full expression. Everything is created twice. First in mind, and then in reality. And you and me and everyone here is the thinker that thinks the thoughts that creates the things. So, we think a vision, we bring a vision in, we open up to receive a download of what Spirit's idea of the Satya Center is, or for ourselves individually. We take time and we tune in and we catch a vision of what the next revelation or next idea of our life might be. But it takes mindfulness and it takes tuning in. So we meditate, we vision, and then we pray. And our prayers here are very different than the traditional begging and beseeching type of prayer. Our prayers here are affirmations. We state in the positive, in the affirmative, what it is we want to experience. absolute peace and joy. That's why in so many traditions, let's say the Hindu tradition, they use mala beads, and each bead is usually 108, and each bead, it represents one mantra. I am peace, love, and light. Let's say that's your mantra. I am peace, love, and light. And then you go from one bead to the next. I am peace, love, and light. I am peace, love, and light. I am peace, love, and light. Now the reason for the repetition is that we are so seduced into the outside world where we maybe don't feel like love and light, that we need to do some inner work. So prayer beads help, mantras, affirmations, or a prayer that you make up. A prayer that you make up. So will you identify what you're coming into alignment with, and then all day long you say that inside yourself. You allow that truth to be stated again and again until your outside experience matches it. Try it. It's like magic, but it's not. It's scientific. What you focus on comes about. It's the law of attraction. Energy flows where your attention goes. And because we're all part of this one unified field, this divine matrix, that's part physical, that's part laws, and part spiritual. It's all spiritual. It's part spirit, part law, and part physical. Because we're all a part of this, we interact with it. Every thought you think, and this was one of our chants last week for the visioning. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take aligns you with your vision. If it aligns with your vision, what you really, really want, then that vision will become your life. But if every thought you think and every word you speak and every action you take is off course from what you're coming into alignment with, then you will attract something completely different than what you think you really want in your heart and soul. So it's our opportunity to, once we understand this science, the science of mind, what you think about, what you speak about, and what you go about, brings your life, manifests as something. So what are you thinking about? What are you going about? What are you speaking about? A good way of finding out, just look at what's going on in your life. It is a direct match to what your predominant thoughts patterns are. Does anyone not agree with me? Or is that a double negative? That doesn't make sense. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's a better way of saying it. So all of those practices that I talked about last week, the meditation, the visioning, and the prayer, those are all internal activities. Praying could be an external. It's kind of a bit of both, internal and external. But they're all things that go on inside of us. So this week I want to move to actually putting those things into practice. So how do we awaken to our spiritual brilliance? How do we experience a true sense of belonging in this world? How do we experience greater joy and success and abundance in our lives? Well, I'm suggesting we do 3 things. The first thing is to take full responsibility. This is a spiritual practice. When we take full responsibility for our lives, we move out of being a victim into a place of power. And you might say, well, I can't take full responsibility for everything. Not everything, because there's those people that do those things over there. I'm not going to be responsible for wars and injustice and all of those things. Of course not. But you are responsible in the way you respond or the way you react. So, can you keep your responses to what's happening in alignment with who you truly are as beings of love and light and peace, purpose and power? And be less reactive, less in judgment or criticism or denial or escape? Can you stay in that place of taking responsibility for yourself, how you show up in the world, how involved you are, how you stay the course? Can you be responsible? Yes?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So we have a beautiful little affirmation that Leslie has created some music to, about taking responsibility. So I'm going to have each of you listen and respond to this, and then we're going to sing it. So please repeat after me. I take full responsibility.
I take full responsibility.
I have the ability.
I have the ability
to respond. From my heart. I choose love.
I choose love.
Say it again. I have the ability. To respond from my heart. I choose love.
I choose love.
It's what she said it was. I know that I'm wrong.
I said, oh my gosh, duh. We're allotted so many blonde moments in a day.
As many as we want.
Good.
Thank you very much. Okay. What I will do, I will sing through once, and then they will join me, and you will all join for 3 more times. Then we'll kind of draw out the ending.
And I want you to really feel this, because you're grounding this into your subconscious mind. You're bringing it into your awareness, and you're grounding it in so it becomes a part of the way you move through the world.
The leaves here.
There's one on that one.
I don't think so.
They're in your program too, by the way, under
I
affirmation.
have the ability to respond from my heart. I choose love. I choose love. I have the ability to respond from my heart. I choose love. I choose love. One more time. I have the ability to respond from my heart. I choose love. I choose love. One more time. I have the ability to respond from my heart. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
So we have the ability to respond. Responsibility. Get it? Responsibility. You have the ability to respond. And in case you didn't get the memo, we are here for love. That's our main purpose on this planet, is to be the presence of love and to support each other, all of the other aspects, all of the other individual expressions of the divine, aka people. We're here to support other people and raise them up into the atmosphere of love. And we do that by being it first. Like Gandhi said, you have to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Powerful teaching. So we have the responsibility to respond to whatever's happening with love. Imagine, instead of being triggered by your husband or your wife or your kids and responding with anger or frustration, what if you just, what was that mantra again? I have the ability to respond from my heart. I choose love. I choose love. Now you will kill them with kindness if you suddenly break out into song like that. So if you need a little refresher, get with Leslie afterwards so she can remind you of the rhythm to that. And then I want you to do that whenever you get triggered. Your boss, you just Okay, 1 minute, please. I take.
Have the ability.
So we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility as to how we show up, how involved we are with our life. I was thinking the other day when I was writing my talk, you know, there's spectators to life, and then there are full team players to life, with life, yeah? Have you seen those spectators? Maybe you've been one yourself sometimes. You just sit there, it's like, God, everyone else is having fun, and I'm just having a not so good of a time, or why is this happening to others but not me? And we sit there on the sidelines comparing, judging, complaining, bemoaning, finding fault with things. Anyone else do it sometimes? You find yourself in that place, and then you're kind of a spectator. Well, we didn't get that memo either. We're supposed to be team players. We're supposed to be all in on team love. So we're all participating in a way that uplifts everyone around us. Remember, it's our job. We have the responsibility to show up as the presence of love and move from the bench or the spectator section onto the court, because that's where all the good stuff's going on. That's where all the good stuff's going on. And that's where we need you. That's where life needs you. On the court with your sleeves rolled up, engaged from the heart level. So our next little practice that we offer here at the Satya Center is spiritual studies. It's one of our pillars, one of our foundations. And we offer the class that we're offering the classes that we do now because we want to help people tune in to their God-given abilities to love and find meaning and prosperity and abundance in life. And so spiritual studies is a very high priority. So I want you to listen and repeat. I am committed to my spiritual studies.
I am committed to my spiritual studies.
I am open to inner guidance.
I am open to inner guidance.
I'm willing to grow.
I am willing to grow.
I'm consciously evolving my soul.
I am consciously evolving my soul.
Okay, so that's why we study. That's why we go to classes. That's why we read books. That's why we have discussion groups with like-minded individuals that want to discuss metaphysics and the meaning of life and how things got to be the way they are, because we want to evolve our soul so we can be the people that create peace on earth. Correct?
Correct.
Or is that just my vision? No.
That's my view.
So we want to be change agents. We want to usher in a new era of peace and beauty and love on earth, with abundance and prosperity for everyone.
Amen.
Where everyone is seen and heard and recognized for who they really are, as divine expressions in the mind of God. So, let's do our next one about spiritual studies.
I am constantly
about these teachings is that it gives us a responsibility, which sometimes feels like a burden, but it gives us the responsibility. It firmly places the responsibility on us to take charge of our own lives and engage with spiritual studies that evolve our awareness, that expand our awareness and evolve our soul. Thank you, that was beautiful. The next one is giving and receiving. So this is another practice. Giving and receiving. Being a part of the continuous flow and cycle of energies on this planet. If we just receive, then we block that flow. We bring in a lot of things that we want, but if we don't then share it, then we're somehow not moving with the fundamental order of the universe. So this giving and receiving is a practice that we encourage here at the center. That's why we ask everyone, or invite everyone, to become a volunteer here. Because there's a sense of when we give back, when we're giving to where we're spiritually fed, we are then evolving the flow of what's happening. And our energy, where our attention goes, where our energy flows, attention goes where you know what I'm talking about. So, thank you. So when we put our attention on those aspects of our life, like our spiritual community or our family or what have you, and we put our attention there and our energy there, then there's a natural flow, and then we get back. We receive. We have to be good receivers too. So we have to be good at receiving, but also giving. So we participate in this cycle of life, just like everything else in nature, and we're a part of nature. We learn how to give and receive. So I want you to think about all the ways that you give and what you get from that givingness. So you give and you receive. You give and you receive. You give and you receive. So let's finish with our final giving and receiving. So I'm going to ask all of you to repeat after me. I practice living in the abundant flow of life by giving and receiving. I live in an infinite stream of abundance. I generously share my good. Okay, so this is our last practice today. We've got responsibility, spiritual studies, and now giving and receiving.
I live in an infinite stream of abundance. I generously share my good. I live in an infinite stream of abundance. I generously share my good. Stream of abundance. I generously share my good. One more time. I live in an infinite stream of abundance. I generously share my good. I live in an infinite stream of abundance. I generously share my good. Share my good. Share my good. Share my good.
So we have choice. We have a choice to take responsibility for our lives, the way we show up, how involved we are, if we're spectators or on the court team players. And we have the opportunity to share what we have, share who we are with the rest of the world. Because if we're not sharing, if we're not out there giving of ourselves, if we're not fully participating, then we're not receiving. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to receive all of the wonderful blessings that are out there at center court when you're sitting on the bleachers. So get out there, go down onto the court, into that messy field of the world with all those annoying people, roll up your sleeves and get involved and show up as the expression of love and kindness. And I guarantee your joy factor will rise up. Your abundance factor will rise up. You will feel so supported and fueled and inspired by life, you won't be able to contain yourself. That's what I want you to see. That's what I want to see next Sunday here. I want you to come as that person, fully living, fully involved, center court, playing all out, being the presence of love. Thank you.
Woo!
All right, so this is our time of our offering. And so we are a center here that is supported by your generosity and appreciate very much. We also are a center that practices the law of circulation. What does that mean? We practice this ancient 10% law, so 10% of what we bring in here, we send back out into the community to help raise up individuals, organizations, and institutions that are spiritually feeding people. It's very important that we participate in that flow. So thank you so much for your generosity, and know that you affect more than just this center and this community. Your generosity ripples out. So let's say our affirmation statement together. Joyfully I give with gratitude, for I know that as I give, I am given. I allow the abundant nature of the universe to flow through me now. I am so blessed, and so it is.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. It's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
Join us.
We are the world.
Yes, we are.
We are the children.
Yep.
We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. It's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
Let's make a circle.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So please close your eyes and join me in a prayer. This one life, this one power, this one presence that is expressing itself so beautifully here today, as each of us showing up in our own unique way, perfect, whole, and complete, just as we are. How good is it to know that all is well in the here and now, that each of us is blessed beyond imagination, available to tune in to the rich resources of this universe and say yes, yes to life, Yes to joy, yes to peace. Yes to abundance and prosperity. Yes to creative ideas. Yes for fun. Yes to the right relationships showing up at the right time. Yes to all of it. Whatever you're coming into alignment with. Yes to health. Say it out loud now. What are you saying yes to? Yes?
Yes.
Prosperity. Abundance. Joy. Light. Yes to it all. So I say thank you for the gifts that are in this basket. It may look like dollars and cents, but it's really your energy. And so we say thank you for sharing your energy, for your investing your energy, for volunteering here at the center to support humanity in waking up to their own spiritual brilliance. So I know there's something wonderful happening here today.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
It's this thing called love.
It's this thing called love.
Love is in my mind.
Love is in my mind.
Love is in my heart.
Love is in my heart.
And love is in all of my affairs.
Love is in all of my affairs.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
And I am it.
I am it.
And you know what?
Life is good all the time.
So thank you so much. Thank you to the volunteers that set up all the